Daf Yomi Halacha, Pesachim Daf Lameted. Yirakot Hechshem L'Maror. Lameted Amud Aleph. The Mishnah says these are the vegetables that a person's yotze by them on Pesach: Chazeret, Tamcha, Chabina, and Ulshin and Mar. The time of Mishmah says these are the vegetables that a person is yotze by him on Pesach: Chazeret, Ulshin, Tamcha, Charbinin, and Chargenin. So others say any vegetable that's bitter and that has a sap and it has color. Rabbi Yochanan says from all of them learn that a vegetable that has a sap and has a pale color. Rav Huna says halacha is like Achem. Rabina found Rav Acha B'Yad Rabba that he was looking for Rarita. He told him, what are you thinking? You think that it has to be very bitter? But we learned Chazeret and Tal Bishmael Chazeret, and Rabbi Oshia says it's a mitzvah is with Chazeret, and Rabbi says Chazeret Chasa, which is lettuce, and what's Chasa is the why is this that Rahmana had Chas Rahmana Ilaban, Hashem had Rachem on us, and Rabbi Ishmael Bar Rahman in the name of Rabbi Yochanan says, well, what are the Misrim are compared to Maror, to teach you that how the Maror, the beginning of it, it's soft, at the end is hard. Also the Misrim, the first in the beginning they were soft, and at the end it became hard. He told them, I was already chozer on it, and the Mishnah continues, and they add up to the size of kezayit. The Shita Rishonim Ha'im Yosim Bel La'ana V'Sha Yerek Mar. In the Gemara says that halacha is like acherim, that any vegetable that's bitter and has a sap and has a pale color, Rif and the Rosh and the Rambam skip this, and the Agur says the name of Mari Molin, that somebody doesn't have a chazeret, which is you can take Mara, which is Lana, and Rashbas says that you're not yotze Lana, and the Miri says that Maror, the explanation is that whatever the vegetables are bitter, and that's what's called Ritba in the name of Rasa says, and also it's a psak of the Rama. Mitzvah Chazeret. The Torah says that the Ikar, the mitzvah is with Chazeret, and if it doesn't have Chazeret, you should go after each one of these according to the order that's said in the Mishnah. And the Smak says that the Minhag is by Chasa, the lettuce, that because of the Chas Rachmana Alad, and he redeemed us. Rabbeinu Yerucham says that mitzvah is b'chazeret, and it doesn't need to go after more than other ones. The Rambam skips this, and Shulchan passes like the tour that the main mitzvah is by chazeret. Shulchan Aruch Orachem Halachot Pesach Siman Tag Taf Ein Gimel Sif Hey Yargosh Yosaban Yerechovatan Chazeret Ulshin Tamcha Charchavina Maror. These are the vegetables that you yotze, and Chula and Kulam Misayim like all of them add up to Kazayit. Shishu Shiur Shalahim, this is their Shiur. Ikar Mitzvah Chazeret, the main mitzvah is Chazeret. Im Ein Lo Chazeret Yador Achar Rishon Rishon Kifi Yaseder Shem Shnuyim. You can go according to this order that's mentioned in the Mishnah. And Ramah says, going to Agra, if he doesn't have any of these vegetables, you can take la'ana or other vegetables that are bitter. Next topic is Haim Yosim Gam B'Mar Sheino Lach V'Chai. Lamed Tet Amud Aleph. The Mishnah says Yotze, if no matter if it's wet or moist or not, or dry, but not pickles and not cooked, like to make the soup or cooked, and you're yotze with the stem of them. So Lamed Bet says, Rav Chisa says, this is that it says dry, that when it has a bitter taste, but it's talking about by the kelach, by the stem, because since it's thick, doesn't get dry, that it will not lose the taste. But by the leaves, the moist ones are good, and their dry ones are not good because become like dirt. Tani, we learn Yosef with the stem of them, no matter dry or moist. And according to Rabbi Meir, Echam says by moist one you yotze, by dry ones you not yotze. Writer continues, they agree, Rabbi Meir and Echam, that yotze by if they're kemushin, if they're withered, but they're not yotze by him when they're pickled and not if they're cooked or made into soup, the matter or melted in the water. The general rule is that whatever that has the taste of mara, you yotze by it. But if it doesn't have the taste of mara, you're not yotze by it. You're not yotze by kemushin. Rabbi Yelazar, Rabbi Saruch says you are yotze by them. Shita Rishonim kelach shalahen pasuk Rishonim, like Rabbi Meir in the Baraita, that Stam Mishnah, the yotze with the stem of them, even if they're dry, and if they're cooked or they're pickled, or if they pickled, you're not yotze by them. And that's the psak of Shulchan Aruch. Alim kemushim, but when the leaves are moist, you yotze, and not when they're dry. And if they're withered, according to the two Rabban, Rin, Ritba, Rashbas, your yotze, according to Riaz and the Yerushalmi, that you're not yotze. I yotze with roots of them. You're able to yotze by them and of them. And the Ganim said, I got the Memoid and Samak, and Rabbeinu Tam said that make a diuk that with the stem you're yotze and not with the roots, and that's the psak of Shulchan. Shulchan Aruch Halachot Pesach Simon Tag Taf Ein Gimel Sif Hey El Yaragosh Yosef Bain Yedechovato Chazed Urshin Tom Charchavina Maror. These are the vegetables you can yotze be'alin shalahen or be'kilchan, yotze with their leaves and the stem. You cannot use the roots. Ela sheba'alin shebe'alin ein desilahen im ken hem lachim. With the leaves, you can only be yotze when they're moist. Or be'kalachim yoseh be'in lachim be'in yabashim. The stems you can do yotze by dry or moist. But not pilush looking not made into soup or cooked. Maror midemai or maser rishon maser sheni v'hekter. So Lamed Tadamud, the Mishnah says you yotze by maror if it's demai mixed, but you bought from Amharis that the suffix the maser was taken or not, or maser rishon that the truma was taken sheni and hekter should be redeemed. The Lamed Tadamud Bet, the Rami Bar Chama says, but there can be yotze with the maror of master sheni Yerushalayim. According to Rabbi Akiva, it is not by matzah, which is a direct text, is yotze maror, which is Rabbanan, for sure it would be yotze. So the question is, according to Rabbi Yosef Gilili, that how is the halacha if it's a matzah's doraita that you're not yotze bad maror, which is Rabbanan, you yotze, or maybe whatever Rabbanan made a tikkun, he made like a doraita. So Rabba says it makes sense that matzah maror that they have a connection together, and they have to be maror also has to be. So maror that has also the name of matzah sheni on it, you cannot be yotze. Shita Rishonim maror shel matzah sheni b'Yerushalayim. Rambam passes in the sugya above that you yotze matzah of matzah sheni Yerushalayim, and if the kal v'chomer that you be yotze by maror, because matzah sheni of that is the Rabbanan. because Paulot with Devarim Shegormin Chimus. So Lamet Amud Bet, the Mishnah says you don't soak the mursan, the solid of a flour for the roosters because it becomes chametz, but you are cholet. You put it in a hot one because it doesn't let it to get in hot water because it doesn't let it get chametz, and woman should not soak the mursan. They should bring it in to the mirchas to use it for her body because the leftover will be chametz, but she can use a dry one, dry mursan, and a person should not chew on it on the wheat, and you put it on his wound because it becomes chametz. The things that they bring to become chametz. The afui was baked, the bread that became baked, it does not become chametz even if you soak in water, and if it's boiled, and the chalot that they were soaked with hot water. It brings the kasha if it's cooked, if it's boiled. Before it becomes boiled, it becomes chametz. Also, he answers that he's talking about there was afui that he boiled, meaning if it was baked, even if it was boiled afterwards, it does not become chametz. So Tana Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Yehuda says flour that water fell into it from the roof, even the whole day, it does not become chametz because the water keeps dripping into it, doesn't let it become chametz. Rav Papa said if it has to be continuous drips. Shita Rishonim Shriat Mursan Letanagonim. Rambam says that you don't soak the mursan and to put it in front of the roosters because it might become chametz, and you're allowed to knead for the roosters, for the chickens, mursan or kemach, and you feed it right away. But or you give it in front of him, and he stands, and he should not be in front of them to enough going for the type of time for it take to go one meal, and anytime that they're eating from it, it doesn't turn with his, or when he's turn it around, it would not be chametz. And Itur says that you're not somech on this heter when he stands on top, and also the Ritva brings the kasha in his words and says, and passes like Shulchan Aruch, and also Shulchan Aruch passes that you don't soak them in any way. So how about Shafehi b'besara yavesh? She explains that she can rub the mursan dry on her skin, even though the water is dripping on the body. And the Rosh says that the water itself for sure would be asur, but sweat is what the Gemara is talking about. And the Maram Halava says that even though it's on the body, there's water which is moist enough to make other things wet. And Rosh says the name of Harav Yonah that these days the women should should not do put mursa on their body even if it's dry, and that's the sack of Shulchan Aruch. Lo yel os chitin v'yaniach al makato. Rashba says that only chewing that becomes a lot of saliva in it, but if it's if it's biting, just like he bites it with his teeth, it doesn't come. If he's chewing it with his teeth by itself, it doesn't become chametz. Shar toldot hamayim v'ziat ha'adam. Maram Chalva says that it's not just the saliva, which also other body fluids. They can make the flour chametz, and that's also what Meiri says. Regarding sweat, according to Rakiach the Meiri, that even sweat can make things chametz, and Rash says not, it cannot make it chametz, and that's the Besak of Ramah. Kemach shenafal letocho delef. Rash says in Rabia that once the rain stops, and he can bake it right away. And rains Rabia that become the dripping. Rash says in the name of Rabia that once the rain stops and he bakes it right away. And Rabia says that from the power of the drips and hitting it does not become chametz. According to Ra'ah, this it says it doesn't become chametz. It's not that he can rely on it to allow it to bake it and to eat it, but since it's because of the dripping, it does not become chametz. Since they take it, it becomes chametz. But when the rain stops, either he needs to burn it or to throw it out. Essential capacity, like the Ravia. Shulchan Aruch Halacha Pesach Simon Tesa Seif Aleph. They don't soak mursan for the roosters anyways, and not do cholet either with the hot water. Rama says v'kshenotim lahem seorim ochitim leichol zay shelo lehashlicha v'mavon lach sheyavo leidei chibus. When you give them barley or wheat to eat, you should throw it. Be careful, they should not throw it in a place that become chametz. Bein ha'ish Afa mursan al besara afilu yave. Ein haisha shafa mursan al besara afilu yavesh. A woman should not be rubbed mursan on her body, even dry. Malachem alachot Pesach Siman Tasu Taf Samech Vav Seif Aleph. Lo yil'os Adam chitin v'yiten al gabe makato v'nei shehen machmisot shaharoch machmis. A person should not chew wheat and put it on his wound because they makes it chametz. Because the saliva makes it chametz. Hey, Hatal Machmis do makes things chametz, but I can't make raglayim may hape v'hachotem v'ha'ayin ha'ozen, and also the water from urine or the mouth or the nose or the eye and the ear. Aval dam v'yirucham v'chalav adam eino machmis. But according to and it says in the parentheses, the Ramah says the blood and milk and the sweat does not match according to it. Safe vav kemach shenafal alav deref pilu kol hayam, the flour, the rainwater fell on it the whole day. Ino bali dechimus behu sheyeh hadelef tored beli hefs, as long as the drip is coming without interruption. V'yafenu miyal kesheyafsik, and it should remove it right away when it becomes the rain stops. Ve'imhu mesupach im hadelef yitored. Also, if he's not sure, so you'll finish it, bake it either way when it stops. And if he's not masuf, is not sure if the rain was continuous or not, it would be also. End of halacha Pesachim Daf Lametet.